Hey everyone, how's it going? Thus far, the Poliwrath line has been probably the best line in all of Pokemon Red and Blue. Poliwrath ranks second among pre-evolved Pokemon. Poliwhirl, a middle evolution, ranks 7th right now overall. So you gotta wonder where Poliwrath is going to rank. Now, there are some significant differences between the other two Polys and Wrath. One is its fighting type, but the other is that Poliwrath is actually slower than either Poliwag or Poliwhirl. In fact, for a fully evolved Pokemon, Poliwrath's stats are unbelievably mediocre. Only 70 speed and special, only 85 attack. Those are fine, but not really top tier. So is this going to be a rare situation in which a pre-evolution is better than the Pokemon it evolves into? Another thing hurting Poliwrath is the fact that it's a stone evolution. And so while it does get some very good moves to start, it doesn't learn any other moves, including Amnesia, which is why Poliwag and Poliwhirl were so good. Having said that, Poliwrath gets a ton of moves, and with its better physical attack, maybe it can take advantage of them. Let's find out. The thing I'm most impressed about with this Brock battle is that I remembered to save so that Sean would know what time it took. Unfortunately, I misclick and go for Body Slam. Great move, by the way, but not against a Geodude. And while I don't outspeed Onix, and I think the critical hit may have mattered, maybe not, we do one-shot both Pokemon. First try victory. Easy. I mean, I don't know what you'd expect from a fully evolved Pokemon with a water move. Next, we have either Rival 2 or Misty. Both are viable options. But first, a big thank you to Raid Shadow Legends, not just for sponsoring me, but for getting me hooked on their game, because since the first time I've been playing it nonstop and I've been enjoying Raid a lot. And if you're thinking, do I actually want to get into Raid? Now's a really good time. Like with Pokemon, where there are just objectively better monsters, Raid has champions, and there are some really good ones you're going to need if you want to succeed. One of them is Ninja, and for the first time in 3 years, he's acquirable. Ninja is genuinely one of the best champions in the game, and pretty much every team I use has Ninja on it in some fashion. If you're new to Raid, all you need to do is click my link in the description, and then enter the promo code Ninja Returns. But if you're like me and you've already been playing Raid, don't worry, just log in for 5 straight days, and you will get Ninja as well. And he really is an amazing champion to use. That's not the only cool thing happening in Raid right now. You can actually win a bunch of real-world prizes by recording yourself playing Raid and uploading it to wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com. Other than recording footage, you just need to put your Raid player ID, and then people will vote on your submissions. The top 12 will get amazing prizes like a gaming console, drone, VR headset, and Amazon gift cards worth up to $2,000. And everyone else will be entered into a draw to get valuable in-game loot for Raid, which can really help you on your journey. There really aren't a lot of great mobile RPGs out there with a tons of strategy, character customization, and a ton of different modes to play. Raid has that, and it's enough to keep my attention and keep me coming back for 60 days. Look what I got just by logging into Raid. Pretty cool stuff. So, if you want to play Raid, you got to click my link in the description or scan my QR code. In addition to the Ninja promo, you'll get the epic champion Taugar from the Orc faction. I don't have him, but he looks pretty good. And Tayrell is really good. I don't have Tayrell because I didn't sign up using my link. You should. Once you've signed up for Raid, you can find me under JRose11 and join my clan, the Solo Runners. All you got to do is download Raid and join the clan. Usually battling Misty first is a mistake, but with a water-type Pokemon, Misty is forced to go for Tackle, which with my base 95 defense, isn't going to be doing very much damage. To make things even easier, I can put Starmie to sleep, and then I get a paralysis with Body Slam. Another first try victory, super easy battle, wasn't even at full HP, why did I need to be? Next, we have Rival 2, and we have Bubble Beam for Rival 2, which is a big reason I wanted to battle Misty first. As always, Rival 2 leads with Pidgeotto, and I'm gonna go for Body Slam, and then I miss and get hit with 2 sand attacks. I may end up resetting here just because of how much time this is going to waste. I miss with 2 Body Slams before I hit Abra, Then Bubble Beam hits Rattata, and now Bulbasaur, that's the starter I gave the rival. And I actually went for Double Slap as a bit of a joke. I can't believe I hit, but that conserves power points. And when you have a Pokemon that's doing as well as Poliwrath, power points are everything. The less time you need to heal at a Pokemon Center, the quicker you get through routes 24 and 25. And each heal, it takes time to go back and forth. It's nice just to have to go in one trip, but very few Pokemon have the power points and the power and the HP to make it through, but Poliwrath did. I can then proceed directly to Vermilion and battle Rival 3. Body Slam, I was hoping for the paralysis and a little bit of luck. Neither were going to one-shot, and I wanted to save Bubble Beam for the Lieutenant Surge fight. Body Slam does do more to Kadabra, and I do need it for Ivysaur, and I get some pretty good luck on it. I even go for Double Slap just to make sure. So, I haven't talked about this in a while, but in terms of routing, you never want to heal in the Vermilion Pokemon Center because of the way Dig works. In Red and Blue, you will warp to the last Pokemon Center you healed in. So we can use that to go right back to Cerulean City. But the only way that works is if we don't heal in Vermilion, meaning we need to buy Super Potions, and just like Nugget Bridge, we need enough power points. And as we saw previously, that's possible. But will it be possible to beat Surge with a slow-ish water Pokemon? It will cost time if I have to come back later, so I try here. Voltorb outspeeds, that is not a good sign, although it's a speed tie. Pikachu I outspeed, and now Raichu goes for Thunderbolt. I do tank it, and then it goes for X speed. Thunderbolt, remember, is 95 base power, Thundershock is only 40. So if it went for 2 Thundershocks or Thunderbolt and an X speed, which it did, we win, and that was what I was hoping for. Otherwise, we'd have to come back a lot later, and it would cost me maybe about 5 minutes of in-game time, probably less. But you'll see here, I do the dig back to Cerulean City, I heal in the Pokemon Center, and let's see if I forget the bike voucher. I don't! Hooray! I do that all the time, and that would cost like a minute of in-game time. So far, I'm playing really well. Nothing to say about Rock Tunnel. I've got water moves. So let's go right to Celadon City, where I have choices, although Erica would seem like the wrong choice. She is a Grass-type trainer. Or scratch that, Agatha, because apparently in my last video, I kept calling Agatha Erica, so I guess I should return the favor here. Probably won't surprise you to learn I battled Giovanni first. I'm already at level 33. Another big advantage for Poliwrath over some other Pokemon is it's in the medium-slow level up group, and that's going to help it a lot early on, and that's when we need levels. So Poliwrath is way higher leveled than something like a Tentacruel would be in the slow level up group, despite the fact its stats are a little worse. And for the record, level up groups, well, rather I should say the slow level up group was determined by which fully evolved Pokemon had the highest base stats. So that's why Poliwrath isn't in it, and that's pretty advantageous. So after doing some shopping, I'm going to skip Erica for a little bit longer. Not a big deal, doesn't really cost any time. And I'm going to battle Rival 4. Rival 4 is probably going to be pretty easy. Since I went shopping, I do have Ice Beam, but I actually forgot to teach it. It's not a big deal. There's a healing spot within the Pokemon Tower, so I don't really have to worry about power points, especially Body Slam, since there's only Ghost Pokemon until the Ghost Marowak, which I would use Bubble Beam on anyway. Regardless, this was almost a one-shot all the way through, a couple of two-shots, and Rival 4 was pretty easy. Now I have to decide whether I want to go to Fuchsia or whether I want to try Erica. It would cost a little bit of time to have to come back to Celadon, so I'm going to try battling Erica right now. Alrighty, so Erica leads with Victory Bell. We need to outspeed, and we do. Ice Beam doesn't one-shot, and I'm put to sleep. Then Razor Leaf crits, and we have our first loss of the run. Not very surprising it happened versus Erica, and then I accidentally battle that beauty, which I didn't mean to do. Fun fact, in Pokemon Red and Blue, no matter which direction you were facing when you save, you always face downward. This is why, if you ever noticed in the beginning when I'm resetting for starter, I go around to the back, so I can quickly just press A and mash through it. It costs me slight amounts of in-game time, but it saves me aggravation. I don't have to press the up button. I literally only have to press one button. So Fun little fact. Now against Vileplume, because I was worried about not one-shotting, which I did anyway, Hypnosis is huge. And that's a big reason Poliwrath is so good. In situations where a Pokemon might be threatening to us, we can just go for Hypnosis, and here's a little trick. You can just fly back to Celadon instead of having to walk. I think it saves like fractions of seconds. But as I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself, Hypnosis is a great fail-safe move. As long as you outspeed, Hypnosis, well, Sleep Powder would be better. Spore would be even better. But Hypnosis is a very good fallback move, and so you can beat things at much lower levels because you can just put it to sleep and get 2, 3, 4 hits in while they do nothing. And since they cannot attack the turn they wake up, especially if you outspeed, you have a lot of time to react to what the opponent is going to do once they do. Alright, so with that done, we are making it into the second half of the run. Koga would be better if we had Earthquake, which we get from Sylph Company. So I need to make a decision here. And as you can see, I decide to battle Rival Fivel. Doing Rival Fivel first is usually the worst idea. He has so many different Pokemon of so many different types. It is very difficult to beat him prior to Koga. Also remember, you get a 12.5% boost to your speed once you've defeated Koga. Now, I have in fact already gotten myself Surf, but since I can't outspeed Alakazam, I'm not thinking this is a good idea. Our second loss of the run comes against Rival Fivel, and maybe me galaxy braining things a little bit. I then try to put Pidgeot to sleep, but without any way to restore my own HP, when I get hit a few times, I simply reset. Now, I'm gonna go to full HP. I wasn't before. Not that I had much HP loss, but maybe it made a bit of a difference. So in battle number 3, I get a critical hit against me, but I do put Pidgeot to sleep. Now, is 84 enough to tank a Confusion? And we one-shot everything else. Certainly not the Gyarados, and I'm hit by Bite twice, including a critical hit. Then it wakes up immediately. So another loss. I'm starting to think that this is maybe a mistake, and maybe I have to go battle Koga. And so that's exactly what I do. However, my trip to Sylph Company wasn't a waste. I got Earthquake, which doesn't one-shot Coughing. Oh, that's great. Now we're poisoned, and our accuracy is lowered, so we miss against Muck twice, 2x attacks, thrice, minimize. We do hit on our 4th and get a crit. That's pretty lucky. Then I go for Surf. Still doesn't one-shot, but I knock out Coughing, and now I'd need a critical hit or something. Don't get it. Sludge doesn't knock me out. I go for Surf, and actually we come within centimeters of health. I don't know how much health, probably like 20 or so. So Koga is going to be beatable. And on our very next attempt, we get what we needed. I still don't have full HP. This time though, Coughing goes for Sludge as opposed to lowering my accuracy. Muck goes for Disable, which misses. Now I'm going to run out of Earthquakes, which isn't a big deal, but I go for Surf. I get poisoned, that really sucks. Now no self-destruct, I have 2 Earthquakes left. X attack is perfect. Easy peasy, 58 HP. We're now a level higher, and we have a boost in speed. And I do think those things combined will help us beat Rival Fivel. So, first things first, do we outspeed Pidgeot? The answer is yes, and we got a crit, but I could have used Hypnosis. Now, I tried to use Hypnosis versus Gyarados. It gets 1 bite in, and at this point you may have realized I have deleted Body Slam, which would help versus Gyarados specifically, but 4 Ice Beams do the trick. I go for Surf against Growlithe. I level up. Alakazam, I'm not going to outspeed. I go for Hypnosis, and Psybeam unfortunately crits. If it didn't, we would have been fine. And in our very next battle, we get crit again. And I went for Surf by accident, so... This is where I'm going to tell you guys, looking back, we should have probably gone to Blaine first. Typically, this would cost time because you need to get a Pokemon capable of surfing, but since we've already beaten Koga, and Poliwrath knows Surf, we wouldn't need to get Lapras, which is located just behind Rival Fivel. So, thinking back, perhaps the better strat would have been Koga, well, Earthquake, then Koga, then Blaine. However, it doesn't actually waste any in-game time to do Rival 5 first. I mean, in theory, it actually would save in-game time. Oh, there's the Hypnosis on Alakazam. Good there. And we even get the critical hit Ice Beam, followed by a critical hit from Venusaur, but we survive on 1 HP, and we beat Rival 5. So, I try to optimize for both in-game time and consistent strategies. So if I were to redo this run, Blaine would be first, but technically this saves like a minute or two of in-game time. It really isn't actually a big deal. So we're going to go and beat Giovanni very quickly. I actually forgot to heal there. Giovanni number 2 is going to be quite easy. We can go for Earthquake against Nidorino. Surf against the Kangaskhan. Remember, Kangaskhan is super low special, so does a lot, although the crit probably mattered. Surf Rhyhorn, and then Nidoqueen, we have a bunch of moves. Doesn't really matter. So that is Giovanni 2. Blaine, Sabrina, who's going to be tough because she's Psychic type, but there's not much else we can do before her other than battle Blaine. And then Giovanni number 3. Unsurprisingly, Blaine has a truly horrendous matchup versus me. I outspeed Growlithe, one-shot. I outspeed Ponyta, one-shot. Rapidash, I use Surf and knock it out. And then Arcanine goes for takedown, and Surf takes 2 hits. We lost just over 30 HP and knocked out all 4 of Blaine's Pokemon very easily. Now we have to battle Sabrina, and this could go quite poorly. We don't have a move to increase our speed, nor do we have Amnesia to raise our special, so this may be tough, and if it is, that's not going to bode well for Rival 6, nor the champion, both of whom have an Alakazam with Psychic. Alrighty, so moment of truth, do we outspeed Kadabra? We're 4 levels higher, and Earthquake one-shots, I mean, we did. I think that was obvious. We don't one-shot Mr. Mime, but Mr. Mime only has Confusion. Venomoth, we may not one-shot. I go for Earthquake. The crit definitely mattered there. And Alakazam does have Psywave and Reflect. This is not a great representation of what future Alakazams will look like, but a first try victory is nice. However, since we didn't outspeed Alakazam, I wasn't expecting to. This is probably going to be a little problematic, but what can we do? Giovanni 3 is coming up next. I go for Surf against Rhyhorn, knock it out. Dugtrio knows Dig, and then Guard Specs while it's underground, which is annoying as heck. But it's going to be a one-shot. We're level 46 now. Nidoqueen is a one-shot with Surf. That's really nice. So is Nidoking. So is Rhydon. Endgame time. Rival 6, Elite 4, Champion. Poliwrath has been, other than Mewtwo, one of the best Pokemon we've ever used. However, that can end all very quickly. We need good strategies here, and without the ability to badge boost against Pidgeot, I don't know if I like our chances versus Alakazam, which is the second to last Pokemon here. It could be really bad, and Gyarados is going to take a lot of hits to knock out. Also, getting an encounter in this grass is always like the worst feeling. So we're at 238 against Rival 6. Sub 3 hours is pretty much impossible, but just over that, very possible. Ice Beam against Pidgeot is going to be a 2-shot. That's good. Next comes out Rhyhorn. We use Surf. 2 down. Gyarados is next. I go for Hypnosis, and it's a 60% chance. We get it. Then it's going to be 4 Ice Beams to knock it out, and we do. That's great. Growlithe, easy one-shot. Now Alakazam comes out, and it goes for Psychic, and that's all she wrote. Outspeed, one-shot, not much we can do. So, all I can do here is use rare candies, and hope that the rare candies either allow me to outspeed Alakazam, which I doubt, or at least tank a hit, assuming it's not a crit. Let's see. Alrighty, so now, how much damage do we do with Ice Beam? The answer? Almost one-shots Pidgeot. It goes for agility twice, so we're at full HP. Rhyhorn we're knocking out in 1 hit. Very good. Gyarados, I still go for Hypnosis. Hopefully it's a 3-shot with Ice Beam. It's looking that way. Even with the crit, still a 3-shot, so maybe a 4-shot without the crit. Hard to know. Growlithe is easy. Now Alakazam. And I just go for Earthquake. It doesn't get a crit. Earthquake doesn't one-shot. That's bad, but it went for Reflect. And now you can see versus Venusaur, I can go for the 60% chance Hypnosis. Don't have to worry about Razor Leaf, but that's only going to work this battle. We got the victory here, but if we can't even one-shot Alakazam with an Earthquake, the champion battle's not going to go very well for us. Every other member of the Elite Four should be fairly easy, but the champ, that could be difficult. Alright, so Loreley's Dugong cannot do anything to me. We've talked about this in a lot of videos, but if this is your first Gyros video, welcome. The AI in this game will always pick what it thinks is super effective, including non-damaging moves like Rest. That isn't going to affect Cloyster, and in fact, Cloyster ends up being really problematic. Cloyster is one of the highest, I think the highest, base defense in all of Generation 1. And my other 3 moves are all resisted by it. So even though it can't do that much damage to me, it does enough. We're at half HP to Slowbro. Slowbro, like its predecessor Dugong, can't attack. It's going to go for Amnesia, which isn't very good. Jinx also can't do all that much to me either, because Jinx can't go for its best move, Ice Punch. But now we have Lapras, and Lapras is going to be very frustrating because I've already run out of Earthquakes. So I have to go for Surf. Now, Lapras can't use Blizzard or Hydro Pump, but it can paralyze me with Body Slam, and we come oh so close, but we're unable to beat Lorelei on our first attempt. That's not good. In our next attempt, however, things go a little bit better. I'm going to go for Earthquake, but you may notice I have a brand new move I'm going to use to try and knock out Dugong and conserve my Earthquakes. I never like using one-hit KO moves because they're so inaccurate, but hitting 2 30% chances out of 5 isn't crazy unlikely. And if that happens, we have more than enough Earthquakes for Jinx and then 4 for Lapras. We can also try to put Lapras to sleep. Unfortunately, Hypnosis misses 3 times, then we're hit in Confusion, then paralyzed, then fully paralyzed, finally putting it to sleep, and as I suspected, Earthquake would be a 4-hit KO, but we knock out the Lapras, and we make it to Bruno. We are going to be using Fissure as an actual legitimate, consistent strategy going forward. And that's awesome. It's one of the few moves I've never really used before, and that's great. Maybe we won't need another attempt. Bruno, oh my god. I mean, what's to say about Bruno? Nothing can withstand Surf. Probably Machamp can. But even though it can, what's it going to do? Focus energy? Yeah. Alright, Agatha, when we hit, we will one-shot her Pokemon that matter. Question is, are we going to outspeed? And if we don't, that could be a little annoying. So, we don't outspeed Gengar 1, but Nightshade is fine. Easy one-shot with Earthquake. Golbat, remember, I don't have Ice Beam anymore because Fissure is there, so 2 Surfs, that's fine. We do outspeed Haunter, that's excellent. Arbok, I always knew I was going to outspeed. And Gengar number 2, the only thing it can do is go for Confuse Ray. I hit myself in Confusion twice, but on attempt number 3, it's easy, and we're making it to Lance-3. I don't know, we make it to Lance. So, I do have Blizzard, which we pick up from the Pokemon Mansion. I don't need Fissure anymore. Theoretically, I could do this right after I beat Lorelei, and we're going to be using Blizzard going forward. It is a lot more powerful and 90 accurate in Gen 1 only. I missed that. Anyway, Lance, there's only 2 Pokemon to worry about, and really only one, this Gyarados. We try to put it to sleep, Hyper Beam. I do put it to sleep, and then Blizzard, we hit twice, get a crit, but a Hyper Potion is really, really bad. Well, I mean, it's not actually that bad. And then we just can't put Gyarados to sleep. But finally we do. I have to start going for Surf because I need to conserve my Blizzards. Alright, we have 3 left. I can use one on Dragonair 1. I can use one on Dragonair 2, but now I have no margin for error. Aerodactyl, I go for Surf. Now, Dragonite and Dragonair cannot attack me. They have non-damaging psychic moves, but if I would have missed Blizzard there, it would have probably outstalled my Surfs with Hyper Potion. Although, maybe not since it's a special attack. Regardless, it would have wasted time and that would have sucked. But we make it to the champion fairly quickly. But as we've talked about, making it to the champion is the easy part. The hard part is Alakazam. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, and if it gets a critical hit, I think we're just done. Pidgeot is first. I go for Blizzard. It doesn't one-shot. Wing Attack crits. All right, well, that one I don't care as much, but it sucks. Now, Alakazam, it goes for Psybeam. No crit, but we don't get the Hypnosis. That was what I needed because I don't think Earthquake would one-shot, but we survive a Psybeam, and probably if Pidgeot doesn't crit, a Psychic as well. We just need to hit the 60% chance. How many times could we possibly miss? We don't make it back in our next attempt. That's just because Fissure Strats prioritizes early resets. Since I don't save during the Elite Four, I don't really care if I reset for the first trainer. So, sorry Sean, the stats are going to be a little more meaningless this time. But we use Earthquake against Alakazam, maybe hoping for a one-shot, but as I suspected, it's not. So that is 2 losses versus the champion, and these are legitimate, disappointing losses. After one more reset versus Lorelie, I think because I wasn't paying attention, but regardless, attempt 3 versus the champ. This time we get a critical hit, so we're at full HP for Alakazam. Psybeam, no crit, miss with Hypnosis. That's our second straight miss with Hypnosis. So we're 0 for 2. 4 more resets versus Lorelie, actually 3 resets and a loss. Even if I was prioritizing real time, by the way, these Fissure Strats don't take very long to reset. Anyway, I miss with Blizzard. Pidgeot hits with Blizzard via Mirror Move. Not a big deal. Wing Attack is a big deal with the crit, because now if it goes for Psychic, we lose. Reflect is great, but we miss with Hypnosis. But then it goes for Reflect again, and we hit with Hypnosis, but because of Reflect, we have to go for Surf. And since we don't outspeed, it could wake up any time, but it doesn't. We knock out the Alakazam, and I believe that's GG. We one-shot Rhydon. I go for Hypnosis. I hit it versus Gyarados. We only have 4 Blizzards left. And this is a little scary because we need some for Venusaur. So I have to start going for Surf. No Hyper Potion, thankfully. It's going to take 2 more hits. Gyarados wakes up, but no heal here. That would be automatic if this was Gen 2. I go for Earthquake versus Arcanine. It's a 2-shot. That Leer might do enough that... Oh, well, I level up. Never mind. I go for Hypnosis, and we hit. And we have 2 Blizzards left. That is GG. Oh, we miss. That is GG. Oh, my God. Oh, that was fine. Alrighty. So, a little bit of trouble versus the Elite Four. Poliwrath did not cruise through. Part of that was because of Lorelie. For the record, Submission with its recoil and 80% accuracy is less likely to win than Fissure. So, 311 is the final time we get. Now, if we look at our list, 311 at level 63, that is the 3rd best Pokemon. That means both Poliwhirl and Poliwrath are in the A tier, and there's a chance that all 3 are in the top 3rd of all Gen 1 Pokemon. That's crazy impressive. And I'm really happy to finish a full evolutionary line. Once again, big thank you to Raid for sponsoring the video. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to install Raid, and I hope to see you in the game. Take care.